Aloha, Love Tribe. So guess what? This is all about one of my favorite kinds of foods is Mexican food and burritos. And I love nachos and I love all these things that like take lots of different ingredients and make something yummy. So for me, have you guys ever, when you're dating or you're looking for the right job or a place to live, your mind is going, if I can only take like this little part of this guy and this little part of this guy and this little part of this guy and roll him up and make him into a little burrito man, he would be my perfect lover. Well, that's how I think, and I think about all of the experiences that I've had in my life, that I've been in different relationships in different places. And I think like it's spirit's way of helping me see like what I want, what I don't want, and what is nice to have, And so those three kind of buckets are how we're going to do this week's experiment. And so what I think is really neat is, there's no perfect person for us. There's no perfect job. There's no, perfect anything, perfect place to live. There's always something that might be a missing ingredient, right? But for the most part, you got yourself something pretty good, and because you're the chef of your life, and you get to put together who you want to be in relationship with and who you don't, it's very important to have a code. Okay, so I'm calling this experiment this week the Burrito Code. Isn't that going to be so fun? And so what we're going to do is this is going to help you get more clear on who you want in your life and who you definitely don't want in your life, and do you have it listed out? Like, do you have a code for your relationships, for your intimate relationships, or for a business relationship, perhaps, or for a friendship? So having a code is something that gives us a container that we can live within, and we can reference it every time we're about to make a decision to go into a relationship or not. And so the tripod model that I teach, we have these different areas, the self, the relationships, and the resources. And so what we do in one area affects these other areas of our life. So I like the idea of having a code for each area, and then you can really say like, I'm living up to my standards, my code of ethics, my high caliber way that I wish to show up in the world. And so we're going to do different codes for all of these areas of our life throughout the podcast and throughout a lot of the teachings and trainings that we'll get to share together. Okay. So this first one is the Burrito Man code. And you guys know from the previous episodes about Dumpy McDumperson and Tell Me Who the Fuck Are You? It's very important that we get empowered after we have breakdowns and breakups and when things fall apart. It's easy, to get on the ground and have your snot fangs and be feeling pretty sad and do that, like go through the emotions. And what do we do after? And so each time that happens, it's a gift and it's an opportunity for us to learn and grow and expand and evolve our way of being. And so now we can create these codes for ourselves, okay? Because you know that you're a big dreamer and you're a dream jockey who wants to ride your dreams to the finish line, right? And for this week's Sustainable Development Goal for the United Nations, with our podcast and with our projects, we really do believe that by doing simple things and aligning our big dreams up with the big dream of the planet, that we can make massive, massive impact, okay? And so the SDG is no hunger. It's number 2. And, I'm creative, so I'm going to figure out ways to tie everything in so that there's somewhat on theme, but who wants to go to bed hungry? Whether it's your soul is hungry, whether your sexuality is hungry, whether it's your physical belly feeling hungry, whether you're craving just a friend or some beauty in your world, like there's no need for hunger on our planet in any way, shape, or form. We have infinite amount of resources here, and we just need to be resourceful with our resources, right? And so, every day, according to the United Nations food agencies, over 815 million people, almost a billion people go to bed hungry. That's unacceptable. We have bountiful ways to produce enough food and to deliver it to the people where they need it. And, because we have these blocks with our politics and with, the scarcity mentality and overpowering things and wanting more than what we really need, we go hungry, or we are creating a situation where people are going hungry, and it's unnecessary. And so it's important to me that in each episode we're talking about a different philanthropic organization that is addressing the sustainable development goal of the week. And so for this week, it's World Vision. And so they address hunger around the planet and help people get their bellies full. So I think it's super important that we keep, pick an SDG that you're passionate about. There's all of these sustainable development goals you guys can check out here. And those of you listening on the podcast, you can't see that, but just look up United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and you can see we've got no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work, economic growth, reduced inequalities, industry, innovation and infrastructure, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions, and of course, partnerships for the goals. Those are the 17 goals. And so, like I said, I think we can move mountains when we align our lives and our purpose with something bigger than ourselves. And so I really support these sustainable development goals getting achieved and, creating a fair and just and harmonious planet for each one of us. And so I believe that by doing these simple things that we can, achieve these goals. And so how can we do that this week with Mr. Burrito Man / woman? If you like women, great. If you like men, great. If you like anywhere in between, great. You understand what I'm saying? Mr. Burrito Lover, okay? So that's what we're going to be doing. So what's really fun is, to me, I decided that I needed to have my must-have bucket, I needed to have my nice-to-have bucket, and I needed to have my deal breakers. And clearly the must-haves and the deal breakers are super important to be really, really clear with yourself on, if somebody shows up in your life and you have got, I've got my whole deal breakers list here. If someone shows up in your life and you've made this commitment to yourself that these are deal breakers, and they have one of those deal breakers, even though they have a lot of these other nice things over here and some of the must-haves and nice-to-haves, are you going to actually break that deal? Are you going to break the code and, go against what you said? Or are you so discerning and committed to your deal breakers that that, like, no matter what all of this stuff is, if this person is, abusive, or if this person's a criminal, or if this person's, in an active addiction that, they're struggling with, and that's something that you can't have in your life, whatever the case is, or maybe they live 2 hours away, whatever it is, are you prepared to live up to your code? So the exercise this week is this is a bigger experiment. This isn't just, come up with a little, I love our little ones with, a power statement and say it in the mirror every day. This is a bigger deal, and this is something that I teach and do workshops with, and it's really fun. So we'll be bringing some of those to you guys next season. But really getting clear and knowing that no matter what, if this happens, you're going to break that deal. You're going to just, this is not for me, right? Same thing with your must-haves list, okay? A couple months ago, before I started dating again, I started just writing down like all of these things, my soulful, sexy lover, and all these things that are really, really important to me. He's compassionate, he's gracious, and he's a great Jedi communicator, helpful, he's peaceful, he lives on purpose, all of these different wonderful, wonderful things. He loves my kids and I. He's generous, he's interested and interesting, all of these things. So I started writing every single thing down that was important to me. And then I realized, like, some of these are like wish list things. Some of these are not deal breakers, but they're definitely nice to haves, and they're not like, oh my God, I have to have this. So I decided I'm going to make 3 buckets, and I'm going to separate this giant 2-sided list into my 3 buckets, which I did here and here. So do it however you wish to, creatively, have fun with it. Set some time aside. This has taken me a couple months to do, actually, because I've redone it a few times, and I'm still going to redo it because this is still like It's not as neat as I would like it to be, but when you're coming up with a code, it's a sacred practice, right? Like you're coming up with something that you are saying yes to living your life to, and you're saying no, And so this is that art of yes, saying yes to your yeses and no to your nos. And, making clear to the universe that like, yes, this is what I want. So set aside special time that you can do this, light some candles, burn some sage, do something that makes it a special ceremony for yourself. If you're already in an intimate relationship, can you fine tune some of these things and realize like, wow, I'm going to back up for a second. If you are in an intimate relationship, can you make yourself better in the must-haves department and in the deal breakers? Are you showing up in a way that's kind of like, So that's also like a really big overarching theme of the code, because you cannot ask for this person to come into your life and manifest this magnificent person if you are not also living up to this code. So you cannot ask for somebody who is, high energy and likes to go, travel and work out and do all these things if you're not doing the same yourself, And so to ask that from the universe is going to be like, well, you're not living up to that standard, or you're maybe telling yourself lies, or you're being sloppy or lazy, or whatever the things are that you're saying are maybe your deal breakers. Are you breaking those with yourself? So that is number one thing that you get to do is, have fun with all of these and just let your mind go and let it all out. Like this is, like I said, this is something that took me a while to just let it all flow. And then I had to go back and assess each one of these things. Am I a Jedi communicator? I'm working on it. Am I compassionate? Oh yes, hell yeah. All of these things. Am I responsible? Am I good with money? All of the great things. Am I devoted to my kids? Of course. So lots of things. It's like, healthy habits. I'm still working on getting, doing my yogic practice at the studios as well as going to the gym. So I'm getting better, but I'm not exactly where I want to be. So that's where I feel like I still have a little bit of work to do there. But that's the thing. You have to create yourself in a magnetic form that is going to get that right person. So wherever you are, that's the peak of what you can attract in your life, And so if you want to attract somebody of an extremely high caliber, you need to vibrate and operate and be disciplined and committed to living your life from that place. So you get to be the person who's the burrito as well. So have some fun with this. I loved doing this, and it really helped me get clarity. If you don't have clarity, how the heck are you going to know? It's like, I talk about, I do a lot of work with manifesting, and it's like manifesting pizza, right? You want a pizza delivery, dude. You're like, you don't just go, well, gosh, I'm hungry. And then a pepperoni pizza shows up at your door 45 minutes later, that's never going to happen, right? What you need to do is be like, okay, I want a medium pepperoni pizza. I want extra mushrooms. I don't want red sauce. I want pesto. I want them to cook the crust and make it a little crispy. And I want it from this place because I like their stuff better than this one and it's more affordable. And then I have to actually touch the phone and pick it up and take action. And so that's how manifesting works. Okay. It's, and you have to go have money that you've already earned to go manifest the pizza. So you can't just sit here and be like, I'm going to manifest a pizza. No, fuck that. So you need to have all the other steps in place and action steps that you're going to do along that manifesting journey. And so we're going to talk a lot about that, but it's super important that you're clear and that you're taking action and that you are understanding what the end result is going to look like and be able to visualize and embody that. So we're going to have lots and lots of fun with manifesting this next season of the podcast. And so this is one of our last episodes under the Big Dream School format. And so we're changing the brand name. It's still going to have every single thing that we've been talking about. We're doing the 7-day experiments. We're doing, working on the SDGs with music and manifesting and micro practices, micro mastery practices. And so, of course, we're going to have Song of the Week because I love songs of the week. And guess what the Song of the Week is for this week's episode? It's called No Scrubs by TLC. Don't you guys love that song? Oh my God, it's coming out. Hanging on the passenger side of best friend ride, trying to holler at me. No, I don't want no. You don't want no scrubs, dude. You don't want no. So you want a burrito man. You don't want scrubs, or a burrito woman, a burrito lover. So I think it's going to be great. So have fun with this. And then the other thing that I invite you to do, share this with your inner tribe. Share this with the people that you trust and who will call you out on your shit. And they will say like, dude, remember the deal breaker? You're dating this person who's the deal breaker. What are you doing? And, the must have, or what about, hey, what are you doing? You're dating this person who doesn't have this must have that you listed. So get clear, legendary lover. That's definitely a must have for me. And actually, I am a legendary lover. So I feel like, okay, I got that thread of magnetism that I've worked on. So I feel grateful about that. So let's rock it, guys. We're going to do so much fun. I want to hear about your Burrito Man. Send me some emails. And I would love to see these if you guys send me an email. And, I can do a prayer and a meditation for your burrito person to show up at the divinely aligned right timing for you. All right. So that's it. Peace, love, and warm aloha from my heart to yours.